2 days ago, Jack Dorsey cut half of Block's workforce, 4,000 people. He said AI made them unnecessary and that most companies will do the same within a year. 2 weeks before that, Microsoft's AI chief said every white-collar task, lawyers, accountants, project managers, marketers will be fully automated in 12 to 18 months. Anthropic's CEO warned that half of entry-level white-collar jobs could disappear. I've been a designer since I was 18 years old. I'm 47 now. I've worked as a contractor for Adobe, IBM, Danone. I've been an IC, a design manager. I've led dev teams. I've watched tools come and go for 29 years. So when I tell you what actually matters and what doesn't, I'm not guessing. This video is about 3 roles: designer, product manager, and engineer. I'm going to walk you through what's actually changing between now and 2030, what you should be doing right now, and the one thing that will determine whether AI replaces you or not. And it's not what most people think. Everyone is asking the wrong question. The real question is, what percentage of your day is tasks and what percentage is actually solving problems? Here's what I mean. If you're a designer and 90% of your time is in Figma producing screens, that's task work. You're a production function. If you're a product manager and 90% of your week is grooming Jira tickets and running stand-ups, that's task work. If you're an engineer and your job description is basically write code, that's task work. Tasks get automated. That's what Dorsey just proved. Block didn't fire bad employees. They fired roles that could be handled by smaller teams using AI. The roles that were mostly execution. But solving problems doesn't get automated. The designer who owns the user experience outcome, who talks to customers, who connects design decisions to business results, that's solving problems. The PM who owns the roadmap, vision, and makes judgment calls about what not to build, that's solving problems. The engineer who architects the system and is accountable when it breaks in production, that's solving problems. So the first thing you need to do today is honestly assess how much of your work is tasks and how much is actually solving problems, because that ratio is your risk level. Let me walk you through what I think actually happens over the next 4 years. The people building AI originally said 2027 for human-level intelligence. They've since revised that to around 2030. But the exact year doesn't matter for what I'm about to tell you, because the layoffs are already happening now with the tools we already have. Right now, in 2026, knowing your AI tools matters. If you can use Claude, Cursor, Copilot effectively, you have an edge. You're faster. You can take on broader scope. You're more useful. This is real, but this advantage has a shelf life. Think about it. Every AI tool is racing to become easier to use. The interfaces are getting simpler. The prompting is getting more forgiving. Within 12 to 18 months, everyone will be able to use these tools. Your competitive advantage of knowing how to prompt Claude is going to zero. So if your entire career strategy right now is learn AI tools, you're building on sand. By 2027, 2028, AI tools are table stakes. Everyone has access. The tools themselves are mostly invisible, embedded into every product you use. The I know how to use AI advantage is gone. What's left? Judgment, taste, the ability to evaluate whether the output is actually good, the ability to know what to build in the first place. This is where the gap opens. The people who spent 2026 only learning tools are now stuck. The people who spent 2026 building judgment, building customer empathy, building strategic thinking, they're accelerating. By 2030, we're in a world where AI can genuinely build products end to end. Design them, code them, test them, deploy them. And here's the question nobody's answering. Who is accountable for that product? Because a machine cannot be accountable. A machine cannot sit in a boardroom and explain why the product failed. A machine cannot be fired. A machine cannot make a judgment call when the data says one thing and the customer says another. That's a human. The question is, are you building toward being that human? Let me get specific. I'll start with design because this is my world. There are 2 types of design organizations. In immature organizations, the designer is a production function. You get handed requirements, you open Figma, you produce screens, maybe you do some user research, but it's surface level. Your accountability ends when the design file is handed off. The product ships, it succeeds or fails, and nobody connects that outcome back to the design decisions. In mature organizations, the designer owns the experience outcome. You're talking to customers every week. You're involved in strategy. When the product fails because the experience was wrong, that traces back to you. That's accountability. If you're in an immature org, AI isn't your biggest threat. Your biggest threat is that your role already has no accountability. Nobody at the executive level can point to you and say, this person is responsible for the user experience succeeding. You're already invisible in terms of business impact. So what do? You start building that accountability now. You document how design decisions connect to business outcomes, even if nobody asked you to. You start talking to customers directly, even if it's not in your job description. You make yourself the person who can explain why the experience works or doesn't work, not the person who made it look nice. Because when AI can produce beautiful screens in seconds, and it basically already can, making it look nice is not a career. Owning the outcome is. If your week is 90% Jira, sprint planning, backlog grooming, writing tickets, you are doing task work. AI can prioritize a backlog. AI can write user stories. AI can run a stand-up summary. That is not a controversial statement in 2026. It's just a fact. But here's what AI cannot do. AI cannot sit in a room with a customer, watch their face when they describe a problem, and read between the lines about what they actually need versus what they're saying. AI cannot make the judgment call to kill a feature that the data says is working, but your instinct says is wrong. AI cannot own the outcome when the roadmap bets don't pay off. The PM who talks to customers every single week, who has genuine insight into what the market needs next quarter, who makes hard calls and owns them, that person is irreplaceable. Not because of their tools, because of their judgment and their willingness to be accountable. If you're a PM and you haven't talked to a customer in the last 2 weeks, that should worry you more than any AI announcement, because you're already operating as a project manager, not a product manager. And project management is the first thing AI automates. Engineers, let's be real, code is being written by AI. This is already happening. Microsoft says over 25% of their code is AI generated. That number is only going up. If the thing you were hired to do is write code, then yes. Your role is changing dramatically, not in some theoretical future, right now. Dorsey didn't say, someday AI will write our code. He said, we already have tools that make 4,000 people unnecessary, but the engineer who ensures the system is secure, reliable, and scalable, that's a different story. Someone has to architect the system. Someone has to make the decision about which trade-offs to accept. Someone has to be the person who gets the call at 2 a.m. when production goes down and has the judgment to fix it. Code is the output. Architecture, security, reliability, performance, those are outcomes. And outcomes require accountability. If you're an engineer, the shift you need to make is from I write code to I own the system. That's the difference between tasks and solving problems. All right, so let's get practical. You have 4 years. Here's what I'd start doing this week, regardless of your role. First, map every design decision you've made in the last month to a business outcome. Revenue, retention, conversion, support, ticket reduction, anything. If you can't draw that line, that's your problem to solve. Start measuring the impact of design. Second, get in front of customers. Even if your org doesn't have a formal research process, set up 30-minute calls. Document what you learn and share it with your PM. Make yourself the person with customer insight, not just the person with the Figma file. Third, start advocating for design accountability in your org. If no one is responsible for the user experience outcome, make the case that someone should be, and volunteer to be that person. Block out time for customer calls. Protect it like it's your most important meeting, because it is. If you're spending more time in Jira than you are with customers, flip that ratio. Own your roadmap decisions publicly. Write down why you chose to build X over Y. When those bets pay off or don't, take ownership. The PM who hides behind data and consensus is the PM who gets automated. Start owning system-level decisions, not just ticket-level implementation. Push for involvement in architecture reviews, security audits, performance planning. Make yourself the person who understands why the system works, not just how to add features to it. And for everyone, regardless of role. Stop optimizing for AI tool knowledge as your primary career strategy. Learn the tools, yes. Use them daily, yes. But invest the majority of your energy into judgment, customer empathy, strategic thinking, and accountability. Those are the skills that compound. Tool knowledge depreciates. Here's where I want to land this. By 2030, AI will be able to build entire products, design them, code them, ship them. The people who originally predicted 2027 for this have pushed it back, but even the skeptics agree we're heading there. Whether it's 2028 or 2032, the direction is not in question. When that happens, someone still needs to be accountable. Someone needs to decide what to build. Someone needs to evaluate whether the output is actually good. Someone needs to talk to the customer and understand whether the product solved their problem. Someone needs to sit in front of the board and explain why it worked or why it didn't. That person cannot be a machine. It will always be a human. The question is, will it be you? If you spend the next 4 years focused on tasks, on tools, on execution, you are betting that those things will still matter. The data says they won't. If you spend the next 4 years building accountability, building judgment, building the willingness to own outcomes and be the person who answers for them, you are building something AI cannot replicate. Jack Dorsey didn't fire 4,000 people because they were bad at their jobs. He fired them because the jobs themselves were tasks that AI could handle. The people who survived are the people who own outcomes. So the real question isn't, will AI replace me? It's, am I accountable for anything that matters?
One more thing, the face in the corner, the audio, it was my AI generated avatar, my digital twin, so to speak. This is actually the first time I'm in the video. It is me, the real me. What I'm trying to get to is the fact that you can automate the task of presenting, not sitting in front of the camera and recording the video. You can automate that. You can't really automate the idea behind the video. You can't automate the fact that I do have 29 years of experience and everything that was said in this video came from me. But the fact that you can automate a certain process and a task, that's what I'm trying to get to. So think about it. The next time, you go to work or you start a new project, just ask yourself, which part of your work is just an avatar and which one is really, the real you. Guys, if any of this resonated, dislike the video, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to reply. I reply to all the comments. I try and make videos every week. So if you are into AI, just, again, subscribe if you like to, and I'm going to see you in the next one.